Come spend a day with me not at a wedding. Here I am, at the Imagine booth at Imaging USA. Now we're at a focal event. And now food.
Do you want to knock on the door? Does that make it more legitimate? Oh wow, I wasn't expecting you. This is our hotel room / podcast studio, doing some podcasts with some friends. Who am I? I'm Taylor Jackson. Professional side of my business, which is wedding photography, portrait photography. Then I also do YouTube stuff. And that, the scope of what YouTube stuff is, has kind of expanded. And maybe by revealing a little bit of my process, my day-to-day, it will make it a little bit easier for you to take the first steps. I feel like the first step to doing any piece of content is just doing it. That you're looking at that blank page and you're like, what do I do? I can't start a podcast, that's hard. You just start it, you just go.
Growing up, I really didn't know what I wanted to be. Wanted to be a lot of things and then I stopped wanting to be them. I knew for sure what I didn't want to do. I did not want to work a 9-to-5 desk job. I wanted to do fun stuff like this, where I was a little bit more in control of my schedule and what I did and who I did it with. Fortunate to say, after a couple years of experimentation, I've kind of figured out at least what works for me. Through the summer, I still photograph my 50-ish weddings every single year. And then through the winter, from November until May, I actually block it all off to do content production like this. And it's a very strange job with no direct route to success.
But it's fun. We get to play with cameras, we get to come here. We're out here. I can't open this door because when I open this door, the noise floor goes from reasonable to 700 decibels. We can cancel it out in post. You get to live inside a shopping mall when you come to a convention sometimes. It's not that inspiring, to be honest. It's hard to wake up when you wake up and you're already inside a fake biodome. But a lot of friends are here, and that's why we're here. You go to where the people are if you want to do videos with the people. And I think we might have a person coming through soon. His name's Sam Hurd. Please welcome Sam Hurd to the show. About the coffee machine?
You bought that for me?
I got you a coffee machine. You're welcome. No, I'm looking for an outlet. Ah! It got really wet. It's John Branch's birthday. Happy birthday, John Branch. Shall we begin podcast now? Tim says yes.
One of the harder parts about content creation and kind of doing your own thing is that in order to be sustainable, you have to figure out a way for it to make at least enough money to be worth your time.
And that's all for today, I think. A podcast these days is not going to make you money. I don't know many. I know a few, I guess, professional podcasters, but don't do it to get that NordVPN sponsorship because that's probably not going to come through. When it does come through, it's going to be $50 an episode. You're going to be like, what? Okay.
What about the undies?
Purple mattress. Get it. Chef cuisine.
Do you run ads? What do you do with your, how do you make money on podcasts? Or what is it? Is it a loss leader for you? What's the deal?
So podcast for me is just an extension of the videos that we're making. I feel like it's a very easy style of content for people to digest, that you can be out, you can be doing your stuff, you can be listening to it. Whereas a video, you have to be hyper-focused on the video, which I feel like people have less and less time for. I've definitely seen, I've been doing this since 2008, I guess, but a lot more seriously from like 2016 to now. And I've definitely seen the attention curve go up, and then over 2020, it spiked heavy and then just dropped. Should I After Effects track my finger?
If you want.
I'm not going to do that.
So to actually answer Tim's question, the podcast itself does not make money. It's a thing that's fun to do. I get an excuse to talk to people like Jermaine Horton here and learn from them. And I think it's important to stay infinitely curious with whatever you do in life. And I think that a podcast is an easy and organic way to do that. It's also a great way to just bring value to your community, whether your community is the photography community or you're doing this to educate brides and couples, or you're just interested in local events and you want to bring more awareness to what's going on in your local city, your local town.
We're here at the Imagine booth, and I've been using Imagine for, I guess, the better part of a year. It's sped everything up for me, so I can run you through a little demo if you haven't seen Imagine.
Now, for what my job description is, it is absolute chaos. It's everything that I find interesting, which I really enjoy. Let's go back to the hotel room and make a YouTube video for Imagine. Here you go. You might have seen this one. It came out a few days ago.
We're out here at an event, and I think part of being a content creator is finding ways to leverage that into real life events. Because if you just make stuff on the internet, you never see anyone, you start to lose touch with the people you're creating content for. And when you get to meet those people, like today, you get to talk with them, see what they find helpful, where they're at, and potentially problems that you can maybe help solve, or at least directions that you might not have thought about your content in the past. So we're out here, we're going to be doing, I guess we got some models, we got some couples, we've got a lot of people.
There's a band.
It's gonna be fun. There's a band?
So while it would be great and lovely to just create the kind of content that we want to exist in the world and not even think about who it's for, I think it is very important to think about who that content is for, especially if you want it to be a business.
Break out kind of into 3 groups, and
The more helpful and entertaining you can make that content, the faster it will find a home.
it's here, even like right about there. And I'll have you kind of face each other right there.
And if you're interested in coming to one of these focal mini NADA conferences, we're doing one at WPPI this year on March 4th, and then one in Hawaii that's 2 days. Lots of mentors, gonna be amazing.
Now we're on our way to drinks with Imagine and Fujifilm downstairs, and we finally figured out how to navigate this place. It's pretty exciting. Time to be alive.
It's a pull.
We pull this one.
I think one of the most unique things about becoming a creator of this style is the unique and interesting opportunities that your day-to-day life unlocks, or that it can unlock if you just take initiative and you start reaching out to people and putting things together. I don't think that you have to be at a certain level to start doing this.
It was actually quite satisfying.
There really is no one that's going to give you permission to start down this path of becoming a content creator. So if it's something that seems interesting to you, just start doing it. Figure out what organically seems the most fun and potentially also stress-free as possible for you, and just begin creating. When I look back on my career, there were definitely a few pieces of YouTube University content that I saw or listened to on a podcast that had such a substantial impact in my life. And weirdly, because of that, it became one of my goals to give back in this way whenever I was able to. I probably started way before I should have, realistically, but I think maybe that's the important thing. Start before you're ready and get all your learning out of the way as soon as possible. And whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, likely a whole lot of people might not be paying attention yet. So it's a good time to learn, a good time to perfect your craft if this content thing is something that you're interested in.
Good night, everyone.
And if you're interested, you saw Imagine a lot in this video. If you're interested in getting your first 1,500 edits free by them, and if you don't know about them, there's a link to a video on the screen right now. But head on over to the link in the description and get your first 1,500 edits for free.